I'm Jill James, and this is my literature review on technology leadership for 21st century assessment. So, grab those number 2 pencils because here's a snapshot of assessment in our schools today and our needs for tomorrow. A 21st century paradigm of education shows that students were our input, we would give them knowledge, and the output was learning that could be measured with some kind of bubble sheet or standardized assessment. In the 21st century, our beliefs about education and student learning have changed. Learning is more fluid in our understandings now as students construct their knowledge anywhere, anytime. Those beliefs have modeled our 21st century. With these new beliefs, our needs have changed as well. Students today need skills that they can utilize as they truly become lifelong learners. Those skills involve critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, cultural sensitivity. Because of those needs, our assessments also need to change likewise, and the assessments that we use must guide the learning process. They need to include these valued skills that we feel like our students need to have in the 21st century. This means that we need a more balanced approach. My research shows that the National Resource Council and the Partnership for 21st Century Skills both call for an approach that uses globally benchmarked summative assessments mixed with formative tests that guide learning and are learning in themselves. When we look at the current state of assessment, the National Resource Council's review shows that there's some evidence of 21st century skills constructs that are easily measurable that we can find in summative assessments right now. Those assessments that do it best are those that use technology to create interactive tasks and simulations that record data inputs as students work through the task and use those inputs to measure student learning on 21st century skills. However, when I look at those summative assessments, it seems that what's lacking is the soft skills of communication, collaboration, critical thinking, or cultural sensitivity that's harder to measure in a multiple choice or simulated task. In order to address those missing skills, some research has been done about using self-reporting or survey methods. However, these might not quite measure up to the standards that we use for many of our summative large-scale assessment measures. Let's shift to formative assessment. My literature review found that the tasks that serve as learning in themselves give us much more room for including 21st century skills. Formative tasks are for learning, and so the process involved includes those skills. Technology can be used here too as part of the process of the tasks to not only be the task, but also to adjust the task for learning as students move through it in a tutorial style and better fit the learner's needs. So with balanced assessment in mind, technology really can help us to do better by integrating both formative and summative assessment tasks into one system, which equals less assessments that better align for our student needs. One example of such is the cognitively based assessment of, for, and as learning initiative that uses technology to give formative tasks and then accumulate how students do on those formulative tasks for a summative measure at the end. So, pick up your pencils, stop filling in patterns on your bubble sheet, and consider why educators need to care about assessments. First, we need to consider what skills we really do want our students to have and make sure that we're assessing and teaching those skills. Second, I ask that you consider what skills and constructs we really can assess with 4 choices on a bubble sheet, and if the assessment measures that we're using are helping us to really give students the skills we want to give and measure. And finally, we also need to consider 21st century skills assessment because we really need to think about what we are indirectly showing our students that we value when we only use assessment for evaluation purposes and we don't include that learning piece. That's the why. Now here's the who. Leaders are the ones who really need to care and advocate for 21st century assessment because they are the people who can help to build the capacity to actually change assessment and make that happen. So now what? My research shows that my literature review reviews for me that we must find out what leaders' understandings are of 21st century skills and how those skills can be assessed and what it is and currently is not being assessed. Additionally, we need to find out what teachers' needs are so that they may be better able to implement 21st century skills and the leaders can utilize what teachers need to plan for capacity building. Thanks for joining me for my literature review.